Salam Shalom og Dialogforum, og jeg ved snart ikke, hvor manges vegne, ikke mindst også Jakob Holdt, som jo ejer det her sted, og har inviteret os til at bruge det, når vi har lyst, og det har vi jævnligt. Og ikke mindst er vi altså utrolig glade for at se så mange, også unge, og det er ikke fordi vi er også glade for at se de ældre, men nogle gange er vi altså mellem 70 og 90 herinde, og der er det altså skønt at se så mange unge. Det bliver der nikket her for de ældre. Og så vil jeg så overlade ordet til jer.
Jeg er rigtig glad til at være her, og jeg startede på dans bare for at vise, at jeg kan tale dansk. Og Billy, han kan også tale dansk og forstå dansk, og han taler spansk. Men det er lidt nemmere for os at gøre det på engelsk. Hvad synes I om det? Er det okay?
Ja.
Okay.
Hvis der er en, der ikke kan engelsk, så kan vi sidde ved siden af en, der er god til engelsk. Ja, du må endelig sige til.
Yes, of course. It's okay?
Yeah.
And of course, if there's going to be a time to engage and ask some questions, and then you can ask in whichever language you want. I mean, the Scandinavian ones, preferably. And then I have something to say about photography. We have Jakob, are you recording video and taking pictures? And Sophie's also taking pictures. I don't know how we can do it. Are people comfortable with that? If you're not comfortable, should I call you out and make you uncomfortable even more? We are so excited. We've been so excited to have this event. It feels like we had an event here last year for Hanukkah, like a Salam Shalom event, also a Melem Education event, and it just feels like there's a different kind of energy now. It's a little more open and willing, and we also, when I had the talk with Dialogue Phone, there was also willingness and excitement about doing some work, Jewish-Muslim cooperation work. So it feels like the right time to do this talk and to kind of launch this, and to really use the space as also a way to connect with each other and just see who's interested in this work and how we want to take it forward.
So we'll just thank you for even giving this time for yourself to give an introduction about who you are and the one next to you. It's really empowering for us to see that in such a couple of seconds that everything can change, and then we're back to us, so we can burn some time telling you about who we are and what is this for.
Yes, thank you. And how we plan to run the evening tonight is that we are going to share a little bit about our personal stories, maybe get some questions from the audience, have a break to eat this knafe that maybe somebody else can explain what it is, but I think it's a Palestinian dessert, right?
Lebanese.
Okay. And so I don't even know what it's made of, but it's really good. And then there's hummus and pita and olives and snacks sponsored by New Outlook. And as for our organization, Melem Education, so just like the time that I said that now it feels like it's a good time to try to step back into the world of bridge building. Not an easy world, but it feels like it is kind of time for it. It's also part of the plan for Melem Education, for this organization that we're running, to start to do more of this work in terms of bridge building. And a lot of that involves activities, so sitting in circles. And we would like to share one of these activities with you. We'll see how it goes with the time. So the plan is to have this, share some of our stories, have a break, and then maybe do an activity. So we get a little engaged, come to meet each other in the activities. Just to give you a little insight and make you think about groups and inclusion, exclusion. That's kind of the nature of it. Okay? Sound good? Great. So what we're about to present here, I have to say, is because first I want to say that this work right now, this peace work, is not like I know it sounds like it should be easy work, like peace is so obvious, but it's actually the really tough work, because right now that work of hope and peace really has to go into the pain. So we can't leave that part out. It's very much integrated into the work. And that means that we don't really avoid topics like we do. Is there someone opening? I don't know. I think maybe people are just coming by the masses now. Okay. So we're not going to necessarily avoid talking about, for example, the Middle East conflict. Sometimes people think, okay, we leave that to the side. We can't help it. I'm originally from Israel. Billy is from Lebanon. There's a lot of this current situation that's tied to who we are, and we have families there, and I'm sure a lot of the audience has family there. So it's part of the story and part of the pain of the story. That being said, we also want to say that we don't represent, like I don't represent Israel and Billy doesn't represent Lebanon. It's one person in one moment of time from this background. And of course, this is another obvious thing to say, but not always so obvious to experience, is that what the things we say is not a right, wrong thing. We're not presenting a perspective that everybody should take. It's really coming from our own experience, from our own journeys. Something we'd say here you could very much resonate with, and something we say it doesn't really fit your worldview or perspective. And those are the things that, instead of making it be a source of division, may be better to kind of like sit with why this is triggering me. So we encourage you to sit with these triggers, or to really let them integrate in how you hear it, instead of immediately like, that she's saying this, that means this. So without jumping too much to conclusion, we want to try to leave it as open as possible, and for you to hear it as open as possible, which I feel like people who come to this room are already on the openness scale, very open. So it's not that there's a need to say this, but it's a good reminder, because it's just the way that we hear things. Yes. I said madam. Madam Education is the name of the organization. Okay, and what can I say before we start else? I think that's good. I think that covers it. And so this event specifically, besides the fact that Meta asked me, can we do an event? And I said, okay, what, how, what about? But before Meta asked me, I also got a message from Billy that actually some of his family was killed in the recent war in Israel, in Lebanon. And then he messaged me and said, do you want to continue the work together? We had been working together many years ago with the Salam Shalom. Then I started with this PhD thing. We took a break. We came back to work to do this another Hanukkah activity. And I thought it was just, of course, tragic to hear this news. But I also thought, why is my Lebanese friend contacting me now, when his family was just killed by Israeli forces, and saying, let's continue this work? Like, what prompts someone to choose that path over? He could easily say, I need a break from Israelis right now. And that would also be very understandable. So what prompts someone to choose to want to work together? And so that's kind of the foundation for this event. Why would we come in this room and work together when we have so many more reasons to not work together, especially in what we see in the media, which is always one side or the other. So that's kind of like the first question to kick off to Billy. So why did you write me that message after what happened to your family? And it can also be a segue to introduce yourself.
Okay. Hi everyone, thank you for coming again. I'll just give a short intro of who I am. My name is Billy Haidar Biaregor. I'm originally Lebanese. Sweden is my home now, and I have been in Sweden for almost 7 to 8 years. I've been in this field of dialogue and peace and conflict for almost 9 years and a half now, and I've started already in Lebanon, where I've had so many options not to, and maybe derail from this field, but I found myself and the reason why I want to do this back there in Lebanon, and it gave me another a push And when I arrived to Denmark, and I found there's a higher reason than the one that I was doing in Lebanon to continue this work, and that is when I met Tali, unfortunately, and then and then this work started even better and deeper on a personal level, as you heard, but also on a professional level. This made us both wonder why we do this, or why are we still in this while we have so much baggage on our path through this kind of work. I do my professional work has nothing to do with this field, but this field will never stop. If it stops physically, it will never stop the fire that's inside of me to do this on the personal level. The reason why I reminded Tali to speak about Melem is because maybe she doesn't know how much Melem means to me, because Melem is the start where I took the decision, no, I want to continue this, I want to put more energy in this, and I think it's with the right person. Regardless of the religion, it just happened that she's a Jew, but it made it even better that, oh, that person, we didn't only click, but also we found these common grounds that we can make it stronger on this work. Enough about me. I just want to dive in and say that I have lost my father the same day I was born in Lebanon, and he was shot and he was killed at the moment. But before I say all of that, I just want to make sure that is whatever we are saying, when I'm sharing with you, is not to put the lights on me or on Tali. It's not about the attention, or it's not about like I want you guys to feel bad for us or bad for me. It is exactly the reason why I want to do this. It's because of the personal journey and because of what these tragic events that happen throughout my life that makes me want to do this more. So whatever I'm sharing with you, I know that inside each one of you there's a huge passion for whatever you're doing, otherwise you wouldn't be here. There is also a conflict with yourself, with your mind and your heart. Why are you here today, or why do you want to do this? But at the same time, I have a trust that this room respects whatever we're sharing with you, just like you guys have trust with us, that whatever you're going to share with us, or whatever you had for that couple of seconds or moments to share with each other, you knew that there's this factor that is called trust that you can do tonight. So since the time I was growing up in Lebanon, I realized that this is not what I want to do. Revenge is not what I want to do. It's not in me. And I wanted another path. I wanted to see what can I take as a step. To whoever did this to my father, that I've never seen, or whom I've never heard his voice, or just had, like any child, held by their fathers or by their parents. So that thing gave me that strength that I don't want to find the killers. I want to find the ones who are alive. I want to find the thing that is living inside of me instead of the one that is dead. And that is exactly when I met throughout my education or my school times, my teacher, my mentor in this field. Just a small introduction of why it started from back then, because it didn't start just here and now in a Facebook message. It continued here until lately, because I believe that I want to continue this path, just like the anger that I had when I was a teenager, when I've seen all these boys and teenagers, they having street fights and they're running to their fathers and their fathers are defending them, and it's like, I also want to do that. I also want to have that. I want to have that figure. I want to have that strength, the masculine image. I found it in me. I created that inside of me, and I do that in several fields in my life now. So for that reason, when this thing happened lately, for about 25 days ago, almost, I lost 4 cousins in the same day. They were all targeted, just staying with their families. And these cousins, it's also very conflicting for me, because this side of my family I've never met since I was, I don't know, I've been 5 years or 10 years. After that, I've never seen again. So throughout their lives, until they died, I don't actually, if I met them in the street, I would have never recognized them. So that is also another thought, that who should have done what or how much. So when I felt that there is somebody is missing who I had as family, but personally I don't even recognize, I don't even know them. But they're very close relatives. They're not third cousins, or they're first cousins. I felt, okay, what is the first step for me to do after, self-reflecting and realizing on the emotional level, what does this mean for the family, or for us, or for myself? But while I'm here today after work, what should I do? And it just happened that I went to gym. I put it out, all this grudge or the feeling that every one of us has them, and they should have them. The anger is not the conflict. The anger is important and it's healthy, but it's how you control it and where you put it. And I'm not saying that I'm the best guru about controlling emotions or knowing where to put what. But what I did is that I used the physical anger by going to that side and put it there in the healthy way. And then I went to my phone and I decided to write Tali, because I know that she's the closest person to me that helps me make that sorrow and make it up. And I wanna do more of this, so I can have us dealing with that together and saying, whatever I say and whatever happened and whenever this thing happens, it doesn't mean that that the side that sees us as the innocent or the victim doesn't mean that they don't see themselves as well back again. But when it happens, it's the time when you see yourself. Sometimes you just need to see the reflection of you and stop seeing behind the mirror. Because if you don't deal with the reflection that you see in that moment, you lose what you have inside of you, and then you start building up things because you need to cover it with what others have. And dealing with it with ourselves helps us have the door open to deal with whatever we're going through with the others who are going with the same thing, regardless of the political image that they have. So I hope I answered the question, why? And even if you ask me now again, why, I would maybe come up with new answers, because it's true. It's something that it's not very specific or limited. You can never find a specific answer for this. Why do I do this? And that's it. There's always new feelings involved. There's always new motivation involved, and things like this, personally and professionally, makes me want to continue this even more. So that is why.